Grilling is great. There's nothing quite like food that has a smoky flavor and those visually appealing char marks. But grilling is usually an outdoor endeavor, where smoke can dissipate and all those wonderful aromas can make your neighbors salivate. But if you live in a place where that's not feasible, or perhaps weather just makes it not possible, you might assume that grilling is out of the equation. Or is it? An indoor grill promises otherwise. I recently found this one for cheap at a thrift store, and today I'm going to fire it up to see if we can truly grill in the great indoors. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And today we are grilling, but we are grilling indoors. Well, indoors technically. I'm actually out in the garage again, and that's because I'm not quite sure how this thing is going to work, if it's going to create a bunch of smoke or what, and I don't want any smoke alarms going off in the house, so we are still technically indoors trying this thing. So this is a Zojirushi Indoor Electric Grill. Now you might be familiar with Zojirushi, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. They make some really nice rice cooking machines, but they also make other appliances, and this is one of them. These retail for a little over $100, but I found this one in a box for $25 at my local thrift store. And it only looked like it was used maybe once or twice. It came complete with everything but the instructions, but I actually found a digital copy of those online, no problem. So let me show you what this thing is about real quickly before we actually fire it up. Okay, so the top part is the grilling part, and this is a non-stick grill. Zojirushi says it is made of titanium and ceramic, and it's got a really nice weight to it. It's really, really heavy, and it feels really solid and good. And then below that is this drip pan. This looks like it's maybe just some stainless steel, and this is where all the drippings go for the meat or whatever you're cooking. I did read somebody online say that they cover theirs with foil, and I think I'm going to do that now because that'll make things just easier to clean up. But really that's it. There's a base, and this goes right over this slot. This locks into place just like that. And then what you do is you plug the power cord and the thermostat directly into two tongs, just like that. You plug it in and it's ready to go. Now, Zojirushi recommends heating this on high for about 10 minutes before cooking. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Now to test this today, I have a variety of things to cook. I've got some thin cut steak, I've got some asparagus and onions, some thin cut chicken breast, some hamburgers, and a fillet of salmon. I have put a simple seasoning on all of these, and then for the chicken and the fish and the asparagus, I also coated them in some oil just so they don't stick. So a tip, whether you're using an indoor grill like this or even an outdoor grill, is to oil the grates before cooking. And again, I'm just gonna put some oil on a paper towel. You could also use a rag, some tongs, and just kind of brush these grates just like this. And that's gonna coat those grates and help food not stick. And one other tip, if you do use something like this, you want to use tongs that are not metal. So this is just like plastic tongs. You don't want metal on metal for these grates. This has been heating for about 8 minutes, and as you can see, smoke is actually coming up off these plates, so I think this is really nice and hot. So let's start with some hamburgers. Hamburgers are just a classic grilling food, so let's see how this works. And immediately, do you hear that sizzle? That is fantastic. This is exactly what you want. So let's throw these guys on. Let's do 4 of these. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'm also gonna time all this to let you know how long it takes to cook these. These have been cooking for about 3 minutes right now. Let's take a look at this. And Zojirushi recommends cooking on high for grilling, so that's exactly what we're doing. So let's take a look and see how these are. And oh yeah, I mean, that looks nice. Some nice grill marks. Whew. Yeah. As you can see, there's definitely a lot of smoke coming off of this. This is a pretty fatty cut of meat, so I guess that's to be expected. Okay, these have been cooking for about 7 minutes, and yeah, it's getting quite smoky in here. I'm gonna check the temperature on these, and I'm gonna cook these to about medium rare. We might reheat them later, so I'm just gonna take these off the grill. But we did get some really nice char marks out of this. Okay, and how about we throw some steak on next? So I'll do the same thing. I've got some thin cut steak, and we'll just throw these on. I think this grill would be really good for something like Korean style barbecue. And we'll just throw these on. Okay, these thin cut steak pieces only took about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna load these guys off the grill here as well. And I don't know if this is coming through clearly, but there is quite a bit of smoke in this garage without having like proper ventilation, like a ventilation fan, but keep that in mind. Okay, let's throw the chicken on and we'll just rinse and repeat with this. Chicken is done. Let's see how this thing does with something delicate like fish. This is some salmon. Throw it right on. So here we go. Everything is off the grill and I've got a ton of food here. Are you hungry? I wish I could invite you over to have some of this, although I have a feeling that there's gonna be some hungry helpers eating this. So let's taste some of this stuff. I'm just gonna grab a piece of this salmon here. Salmon is one of the things that can really go awry on a grill. Yeah, good flavor. It doesn't have like the charcoal smokiness that you would get cooking on a charcoal grill, of course, but for what it is, this tastes really good, and I like that it doesn't taste like propane. So what do I think of this thing, and is this worth buying? Well, I think for $100, this makes a pretty darn good grill if you don't have a grill or your situation doesn't allow you to have an outdoor one. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that there is going to be smoke, and quite a bit of it if you're cooking something fatty like hamburgers. So my best suggestion is, if you are going to do that, place this under the vent of your range and just put that vent on high. You're really going to want to air out those fumes just like you would if you were cooking hamburgers or steak in a skillet on the range. There's just going to be a lot of smoke and a lot of grease. That said, I think this thing worked really well. It cooked foods really quickly, and it left some really nice grill marks. This is a nice little unit, and I think for $100, it's really not too bad of a buy. If you just use it a few times, it's going to pay for itself versus eating out. Also, I think it's going to be pretty easy to clean, especially since I put some foil on this drip tray, and I will just run this plate that detaches under the sink and just kind of clean this up. So yeah, I plan on keeping this thing, and I do plan to continue to use it as a grill, but to be honest, I don't know that I would do any high heat cooking with it inside. I just think it's going to create too much smoke, and if I do, I'm going to turn that vent to high. But all in all, I think this was a really good thrift store score, especially for buying it for $25. And if you haven't watched my other videos on why you should be shopping at thrift stores for kitchen appliances and kitchenware, well, just look right behind me. Most of that stuff is from the thrift store, and I buy it for pennies on the dollar versus new. If you get one of these things, or if you use one of these things, let me know what you think. Again, I think this is a pretty darn good unit, and for what it is, it does its job well. As always, thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.